I'm Jake, living on my own. I have a brother named Mike who lives with his wife, daughter, and our parents at our family home. Our parents are old-fashioned and strict.
You owe us for raising you. It's your duty as our children to repay us.
My father would say. So Mike and I started sending money home. I was under the impression that Mike was handing the money directly to our parents, so I've been transferring money to Mike's account every month. However, our parents dote on Mike and don't seem happy to see me when I return home. Even during the holidays, everyone's cold and treats me like an outsider. I've been thinking of not going back anymore. Spending the holidays alone watching TV. I got a call from Dad in the evening.
Jake, what do you mean you're not coming home for the holidays? You never show up, so the least you could do is come home for Christmas.
But when I do come, nobody is happy. My niece just ignores me after getting her Christmas present. Since that's the case, it's better for all of you to have a quiet time without me. You don't even have an extra room there, and I'd rather not be a nuisance.
Aren't you ashamed, letting your brother take over and not sending money home?
What? No, that's not it. Mike just never left home, that's all. And I am sending money. I shouldn't even be hearing this from you, Dad.
Shut up. Why can you only make excuses? Look at your brother, paying $3,000 every month.
Yay, big bro. It's not like I'm rolling in cash either.
Well, speakerphone, huh? Wait, what are you saying? Haven't you been receiving the money I sent?
What? You're saying you've been sending money?
I am. I transfer money to Mike's account on a set date every month.
Yes, indeed. A deposit is made under your name, Jake. It's just 30 cents on the same day each month, though.
30 cents.
Why are you surprised? You're the one sending that amount.
No, I really don't get it. Mike, say something.
There's nothing to say. You told me to handle the $3,000, remember? I said I didn't want to.
Anyway, you lack awareness. Mike is much more of a man than you. Don't you have any pride as an older brother?
Wait a minute. Did you actually check the bank statements? Not just the copy, the actual bank book. Maybe Mike's been tampering with it. You both think Mike is the one who deposits $3,000, but I'm actually the one doing that every time.
Well, the one we checked was indeed a copy. Hey, Mike, show us the actual bank book.
What? The bank book? Maybe I lost it. I was so focused on showing it to both of you that I must have misplaced it after making the copy.
How is that possible? You update it every month, don't you?
Because of that, showing the original might be impossible. But Big Bro is trying to take all the credit for himself. That much is true. Dad, after all these years, do you think I'm lying?
Well, to be fair, I can't see Mike lying, but you, Jake, maybe.
What's that supposed to mean? So, you just believe him without any proof? Forget it. If you don't trust me, let's just end this parent-child relationship.
What did you say?
If you won't believe me, then fine. I'm stopping the payments I've been making.
Don't act all high and mighty over just 30 cents. We don't need you.
Right, it's just 30 cents after all. Can't expect much from someone glued to his computer. I raised you to never lie, but it seems that was lost on you.
Fine, go ahead and keep saying that. It's just too much hassle to get you to trust me anyway. So, let it be that way. Mike is the better son. And if I'm such an embarrassment, it's for the best.
That's what I hated about you, Jake. Always arguing and never listening. I've never thought of you as my son, just a troublesome housemate.
What's that supposed to mean? Well, fine, let's cut ties. Even if we're estranged, it doesn't matter to me anymore. I won't have to deal with this hassle anymore. It'll be easier for Mom and Dad too, right?
Don't you feel any gratitude for being raised by us? Even if I didn't consider you a son, I provided for your education, and only the best at that. Spending money on education is my way. Do you have any idea how much money I've spent on you? What's wrong with asking for it back?
Look, I get it. I'm thankful, but I never asked for it. I didn't want it. I was thankful, but it wasn't something I begged for or wanted. Honestly, while everyone else was out playing, I was stuck in tutoring. I did better studying on my own at home. I just can't understand where you're coming from, Dad. It annoys me that you expect me to pay back the investment. You made those decisions yourself. Why should I repay you?
You ungrateful child. I gave my kids the best education. How is that selfish?
I hate how you shove your so-called favors in my face. Cutting ties means I won't have to deal with that anymore. And for the record, I did make those payments all along.
Oh, big bro, cut the lies already. Dad, that's enough, right?
Something about Mike's tone felt off, like he was forcing the conversation to end.
As big bro said, let's cut ties. There's nothing good left for us in this. Mom and dad have me, and that's enough. I don't want anything to do with you anymore, Jake.
Yeah, that makes sense. So long, Jake. This is goodbye.
Likewise, don't ever contact me again, no matter what happens. With those words, the phone call ended. I thought this would finally sever ties with Dad and the rest. While Mike's manner of speaking did catch my attention, that call ended my relationship with them. So I immediately blocked the phone numbers of all my family members. 2 months later, after returning from work, my doorbell rang. Looking through the peephole, I saw Mike and my parents, looking furious. Thinking to ignore them, they started yelling loudly.
Hey, Jake, the lights are on, so you're in there. Come out and let's talk.
They banged on the door, calling out to me loudly. Concerned about disturbing the neighbors, I opened the door but kept the chain lock on, not wanting any trouble. What do you want at this hour? Ever think about the neighbors? I was fed up with my father's usual domineering attitude. Besides, didn't you say over the phone, this is goodbye? Have you forgotten?
Shut up. That's not important right now.
While saying this, Dad showed me a demand letter written in his messy handwriting. What's this? About the support money? You're saying I haven't paid and must pay now? We've cut ties, and I said never to involve me again. You said you didn't want anything to do with me, right? So why should I have to pay anything? The support money I sent was supposedly 30 cents, right? So, 60 cents for 2 months. Did you really issue a demand letter for 60 cents? Unbelievable. When you think about the time and effort to come here over 60 cents, your actions are frankly pointless.
Why don't you grow up a bit?
What? What do you mean? I don't understand.
Don't you think you're at fault here? We're going through a tough time at home.
We've cut ties, so it's none of my business. It's not my fault that your home is in trouble now.
Plus, this is a chance for you to repay our kindness. If you give money now, it's an opportunity to clear your name.
Dad, didn't you say on the phone that you've never thought of me as your son? So why are you here now?
If you give us money, we will consider you as part of the family again. Family is supposed to support each other.
I realized then that reconciling with my father was impossible. I tore up the demand letter he had in front of him.
What are you doing?
I don't get it. Do you understand we've cut ties? We agreed it's okay not to be family anymore. Redeem myself by sending money as before. I don't need that now. It doesn't matter if you acknowledge me now or not. I told you to leave me alone. I can't accept someone who keeps calling me a liar. And what's with that attitude? Is that how someone asking for financial help should act? I'm sick of it. Dad, Mike, Mom, all of you. None of you acknowledge or trust me. I don't want to help just because you're in trouble. I've had no spare cash myself. That's because I've been sending you $3,000 every month. It's over. Go home.
Enough already. Speaking as if you have the right. And now you won't send money because we've cut ties. How dare you say such things to me? I understand your feelings toward just now. You don't even want to help your family in trouble. If you really hate us that much, sign this.
Dad handed me an official-looking document. What's this? Disinheritance.
Yes, that's right. You're using the land owned by Mom's father, aren't you? That land was inherited by Mom. So, we won't allow you to use it. If you sign the disinheritance document, you won't be able to use it anymore.
What? Why go to such lengths? If you hate me that much, just stay away. And it was only Mike's money all along, right? If my contribution was just 30 cents, it wouldn't have made a difference. So, why rely on me now? Why bother with someone you dislike?
Mike quit his job recently. His company was about to go bankrupt, and they couldn't keep him. Apparently, he didn't even get the severance pay he was supposed to. That's why the remittances stopped.
So what? We've cut ties. It's not my problem. Deal with it yourselves. If your income is reduced, then adjust your lifestyle, or everyone can work outside.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you, a chance to be recognized as our son. Why not turn this crisis into a chance? Without doing so, you won't inherit anything.
What are you talking about, Dad? You're just threatening me. Isn't this just begging for money? You have plenty of inheritance left from Grandpa. Use that and leave me out of it. I can't take this anymore, Dad. That land was meant for me to use freely, as Grandpa said, but you want it as your last resort, right? It's clear you don't want to leave anything for me. And I have no intention of paying for your living expenses. You brought that document for this reason, right? Since that's the case, after I sign it, please go home. I said this, sign the document, and close the door. I really didn't want any more to do with them. As I was about to go back inside, I heard shouting at the front door.
Hey, Jake, aren't you going to listen till the end? Are you planning not to pay the last 2 months' allowance? Do you have no conscience? Tearing up the demand letter I prepared? Who do you think raised you? Don't you have any gratitude?
Mom and Mike joined in the shouting, with Dad pounding on the door. I was thinking it was becoming a nuisance to the neighborhood. Should I call the police?
W8, why are you here?
Mike's voice cracked.
What's going on? Who are these suspicious men?
Then I heard my family's panicked voices. Curious, I looked through the peephole and saw several unfamiliar men surrounding them, and I recognized one of them.
Hey, Mike, what are you doing here? Do you have time to waste? You better return what you owe, or you know what will happen.
What do you want with Mike? This is his brother's house. You're here for Jake, not Mike, right?
Huh, who are you? That's my line. We've been taking care of your son, you know. Your son borrowed money from us. He's been missing payments, so we came to collect, but he wasn't home. We kept ringing the doorbell, and his wife told us he was here. We finally found him. Pay up now. We came to tell him he's got no time to play around. So, who are you, his parents?
Hey, did you just mention debt collection?
Whoa, please stop. I'll contact you later. Just go back for now.
It turned out that Mike had borrowed money from these people, and I recognized the leader. I decided to open the front door and greet him. Hey, Junior. Long time no see. How's it going? What are you doing here?
Well, Jake, it's been a while. Yeah, I'm doing well, working hard. It's been a while since that judo match in middle school, right? I never went to high school, so I ended up in this line of work. Alright, you're probably wondering what I'm doing. Simply put, I'm here to collect the money I loaned. This guy here borrowed money from me. He used to pay the interest at least, but recently, he hasn't paid anything. So, I came to collect. Jake, you know this guy.
He's more than an acquaintance. He's my brother, as Dad said.
Really? This guy is your brother, Jake, with all your accomplishments.
What's so great about Jake? A guy who doesn't even send money to his parents.
Ignoring what Dad said, he filled me in on my brother's situation.
Did you know he got fired from his job? That's not here. What? You talking back to me? Shut up. Jake and I are talking right now. Yeah, about that. He got fired for padding the expenses. Basically, he embezzled company money, charging personal drinks as business expenses, leading to him getting fired. Because of that, he's being sued for damages by the company, and that's why he borrowed money from us.
Well, so that happened.
Hey, Mike, what's this about having debts? Does that mean you have no savings? And you get fired, demands for damages. How did it come to this? Did you lie to me too?
Yes.
Don't mess with me. Without savings, how can you provide a proper education?
I was thinking, is that really the point to get angry about?
Your daughter's expenses will only increase, and you have debts instead of savings. Were you counting on our savings? I'm sorry, pathetic, fired and facing demands for damages. What happened to the company is going bankrupt, so I had to quit. You just misused your company's money for yourself. To think you were such a big liar. My sons, both of them, didn't turn out as I hoped. The brother I trusted was hiding this. Hey Jake, you take responsibility.
What? Me? Why?
Because you are still the eldest son of our family. Maybe Mike followed your irresponsible ways. Ultimately, it's all your fault. So you should pay for our living expenses.
Why should it be me? We've cut ties, remember?
Like I said, because you're the eldest son. We have our retirement to think about. We don't want to spend our savings meant for our grandson until Mike gets a job. We're retired and can't work anymore. We're barely living on our pension. We invested in the best education for you. It's only natural for you to repay your parents. If you do, we'll even let you inherit that land. It's a win-win situation, isn't it?
No way, that's just a loss for me. And it's not my fault Mike got fired. The idea that children must receive top-notch education is also strange. If the child wants to do something, just let them do it. Pushing everything on them is just parental ego. I often felt it was painful. And what? You don't want to spend on your grandchild's education. You forced us into all sorts of educational programs without hesitation. But now you're saying you want to educate your grandchild without spending money. Your rigid impositions are the root of all these problems. Realize it. And who knows, Mike's problematic behavior might not be the end of it. I said to Mike with a sarcastic smile, recalling all the times he had insulted me. Hey, Mike, got anything else you've messed up? Better spill it now, because it's going to come out eventually.
Actually, I've used up all of Grandpa's inheritance.
What?
I was just prodding, but this was shocking. I never imagined he was dealing with such a serious issue. You didn't just misuse it, you used it all up.
Well, Jake's brother is really off his rocker, huh?
What do you mean used it up? Explain yourself. Well, Mom was in charge of the bank book.
I think he asked me about its location about 6 months ago.
Why did you tell him? Didn't you think this could happen?
I couldn't help it. He said it was dangerous and that he would manage it. I thought it was risky to leave such a large inheritance lying around.
So, you liquidated most of the money Mom inherited and used it all up.
Yes, it's all gone. I had no choice. I've been out of work for quite a while. Dad always said that the children must have a first-class education. That's why my wife said she needed a lot of money. Before I knew it, my savings vanished just by giving her what she asked for. And I had to send money home too. It's not easy to win your approval, Dad.
You're blaming me for that.
So, this was a necessary expense. Yes, it was essential for me to live peacefully. It's all because you, the elder brother, didn't send money. I suffered because you kept running away. The fault isn't mine. It's all on you, Jake.
Mike's confession and his attempt to shift the blame to me made me snap. And then it hit me. Wait a minute, Dad. You haven't seen the bank statements I sent to Mike, have you?
No, I haven't. I trusted Mike completely.
So, why don't we just look at my bank statement? That will show everything clearly without any tampering.
Wait.
Ignoring Mike's panic, I continued. Just wait. I'll get my bank book right now.
No, stop. Please don't bring that out.
Hey, Junior, can you hold Mike for a second? He might try to flee and disappear.
Sure, I'll keep an eye on him. No problem. Come on, bro. I was wrong. Forgive me, that's all I ask.
Leaving them behind, I quickly went to get my bank book and check the transactions. Bringing it back, I showed the bank book to Dad. Mike was pale and trembling. Look, this is my bank book. It clearly shows the transfers of $3,000 to Mike, see?
Indeed.
So, do you believe me now that I've been sending money?
Yes, with this evidence, I can't doubt you. But Mike, what were you thinking? You only showed us the copy of the bank book.
I thought it was necessary for my daughter's education. I figured it was okay since I would inherit most of it anyway. Plus, I didn't touch your savings, Dad. The inherited money was like a windfall for you, right? It wasn't turned through your work. So moving to a care home shouldn't be a problem. It's not as simple as that. But now that you mention it, you've been giving money to your wife for education expenses. How much each month? About $10,000, I think.
What did she spend all that on? I've never heard of such a thing. How many things did she enroll in to cost that much? Is she getting private lessons from professionals? It wouldn't cost that much otherwise.
Well, I don't really know what she's doing with it. I left everything about our daughter to my wife. Oh, maybe some of it was for her beauty expenses. She did become quite beautiful after I started giving her the money. I thought it was fine if it was for her to look good for my sake. When I visited your home earlier and met your wife, I thought she looked familiar. Turns out she's a client at the host club we run. A host club? No, that can't be right. She wouldn't go to such places. Come on, I wouldn't mistake her. Remembering names and faces is part of my job. She's definitely a regular at my club, always asking for our top guy. She doesn't come often, maybe once or twice a month, but she always orders expensive champagne. She seemed plain, and I wondered what her deal was, but if she's using her husband's, or rather, her in-laws' money, that makes sense. And she's seriously in love with our number one guy, despite not even being an ace herself.
Seriously in love? What's that? It means she's genuinely fallen in love with the host, even though it's clearly just business. I always thought she was a pitiful woman being seen as an easy mark.
No, that can't be. She wouldn't do something like that. She's always been devoted to me. She wouldn't betray me. Come on, you know the truth. Why say that? You even mentioned how she's become unusually pretty. You had the thought that it might be possible, didn't you? Even if not with a host? Lying to others is bad enough, but lying to yourself is the worst. This is terrible, too terrible. I love my wife, and now this betrayal. This world is hell. It's always been like this since I was little. There's nothing left I can believe in. What are you talking about? You betrayed your brother, Jake, first, right? Claiming the remittances were from you. Do you even realize what you've done? Offith.
Pressed by my younger acquaintance and faced with the truth about his wife, Mike seemed to spiral into panic.
Really? It's pathetic. Is he even my son? Sigh. All of them. Anyway, Jake, you should support our family finances.
What? Why should I be the one to support it? I've already cut ties with you. You haven't even apologized for doubting me. Actually, I refuse outright. So, Junior, can you take them away?
Is that okay? Do you know what might happen?
Yes, they're not my family anymore, so it's none of my concern. I've signed the disinheritance papers, so their debts have nothing to do with me.
Enough already. You have a responsibility as the eldest son.
Still cling to that mindset, huh? Typical of you, Dad. No wonder everyone's leaving.
Drop that outdated thinking. Nobody talks like that anymore. So, I'll take them away. Let's go out for a drink sometime, Jake.
Stop it, please. No, let go.
Junior, see you around. Take care of my former family, including my mother. Don't worry.
Jake, I'll make sure they understand what they've done to you.
Mike and my parents were taken away by my junior, bringing peace back to my life. Finally, I was free from the troublesome family ties. Mike's debts would be covered by dipping into our parents' retirement funds, with Mike working under my junior's watch to pay off the rest. My parents had to give up on their plain care home. As for the land, there was already a document for a lifetime gift to me, so there are no issues there. Thus, I broke free from a family that didn't love me and started a bright new chapter in my life with a newly built house.